For a while, you were everything. Then, in the space of one sentence, you became the enemy. Same room, same person. You can't even remember the words, but their face closed like a door, and your stomach dropped with it. You start replaying the last 10 seconds, hunting for the crime. You've loved someone like this, or you are someone like this. What just happened to you has a name. Inside a borderline relationship, love and fear aren't two feelings, they're one. This file will show you why. Here's the file. Not a villain, not a victim, a relationship, running hotter than either person could hold. At the start, they saw you more clearly than anyone ever had. You were understood, chosen, lit up from the inside. It felt like coming home, and that part was not a trick. Hold on to that. We'll need it at the end. Then came the first time you let them down, something tiny, a canceled plan, a reply an hour too long. And the person who'd adored you looked at you like a stranger, proving their darkest fear true. Same eyes, same love, aimed the other way. I've sat with people on both sides of this. Nobody enjoys it, because what flips that switch isn't cruelty. It's something far older than this relationship, and far more frightened. Here's the part that reframes the whole thing. The love wasn't fake when it was good. The coldness wasn't fake when it turned. Both were completely real. You were never dealing with a liar. You were dealing with a switch, and you could never see what was holding it down. By the end of this file, you'll see it, and you won't be able to unsee it. Watch the switch itself. One moment they're curled into you, sure you're the one safe place in the world. The next, the jaw tightens, the voice goes flat, and you've turned into a threat. Nothing in the room changed. Something inside them did. Under enough fear, the mind can lose its grip on the middle, on all the in-between. You stop being a whole person, flawed, loved, imperfect, and snap into one of two pictures, all good or all bad. Psychologists have a name for that snap, and the moment you become the enemy, every good memory you built together goes dark, as if it never happened. That's the first thing the storm does. It deletes the middle. And the middle was the whole place the relationship lived. Quick, before the next part, because it's the one that explains everything else. My name is Stefen. I make these files alone, for people living something they were told they were imagining. Subscribing is free. It's the one thing that carries this file to the next person sitting on that sofa, hunting for a crime. Now, the engine under all of it. So here's the engine of the borderline mind. Under the love, under the rage, a single fear runs the whole machine. The fear of being left, not a worry, an emergency. A late reply, a friend you laughed with too easily, a door closed too long. To you, none of it means anything. To them, it's a smoke alarm at full volume in the middle of the night. And a person hearing an alarm doesn't reason. They grab whoever's closest, or strike first to leave before they're left. So everything you've read as hot and cold is one fear, wearing two coats. It was never two people. It was one fear, too loud to sit still. And here's where I stop describing them and start describing you. Because if you've loved someone whose fear runs this hot, the relationship slowly hands you a job you never applied for. Let's stop watching them. Let's look at what that job does to you. Watch what the relationship slowly turns you into, the one who manages the temperature. You keep your voice even when it wants to shake. You cancel your own plans so you don't trip the alarm. You apologize for things you didn't do just to bring the warmth back. You're not really in a relationship anymore. You're on shift, watching a face for the first sign of weather. And here's the cost no one warns you about. To keep them calm, you slowly disappear. Your needs shrink. You get good at wanting less, asking for nothing. That isn't weakness. It's what the body does beside an alarm that never fully shuts off. It goes quiet, so the alarm doesn't have to. Now the cruelest turn, the one that keeps people for years. The closer you get, the more dangerous you become to them, because the more you matter, the more it would cost to lose you. At the exact moment you're closest, they push. A fight from nowhere, a week gone cold. What it actually runs is a test. Does this hurt enough that I should leave first? Will they stay even now? Every time you stay through it, two things get carved deeper. In them, that love is something you survive. In you, that leaving would break them. Then, eventually, it ends. They come back, soft, open, more loving than you've ever seen them. Relief floods through you like a drug. That relief is the most powerful moment in the entire cycle. The storm is the price of the sunrise. Now you're chasing the next hit of warmth after the next cold snap, chasing who they were at the beginning. And here's the part that breaks it open. That person wasn't a trick either, just as real as the cold. You've been trying to get back to a version of them that can't stay, because the same fear that makes them adore you is what makes them flee. You can't have one without the other. And here's what almost no one says out loud. From the inside, they aren't testing you to hurt you. Part of them is certain in the bone, that everyone leaves. You're not in a relationship with two people, the warm one and the cold one. You're in a relationship with one person whose fear is so loud, it swallows the middle every time. And you've been trying to love the fear out of someone. That's not a relationship. That's a rescue mission. So now you can answer the question this file opened with. How can someone love you and fear you in the same breath? To a borderline mind, one that expects abandonment, love and fear are the same event. To be loved is to be handed something that can be taken away. The intensity that swept you off your feet and the coldness that froze you out were never two people. One person, holding something they were sure they couldn't keep. Understanding that doesn't make the cost yours. Understanding a fire isn't the same as standing in it. You were never crazy. You were never too much. You were standing next to an alarm that never stopped ringing, and you tried to sing over it. That's not weakness. That's devotion. Remember the sofa, the face that closed like a door, the crime you went looking for. There was no crime. There was an alarm. The mind that loves and fears you, what's really inside a borderline relationship. File closed. If this named something you've lived, do 3 things. Hit like. It carries this file to the next person still hunting for a crime that was never there. Subscribe, so the next file finds you the day it opens. And leave 1 word. What this kind of love felt like. Chosen, exhausting, or something you're still finding the word for. This file showed you a mind split in 2, the version that adored you and the version that couldn't stop fearing you. The next one goes further back, to where that split comes from in the first place. Carl Jung had a name for the part of every mind we never let anyone see, and the monster he described isn't only in the people you've loved, it's in everyone, including you. Carl Jung and the shadow, the monster everyone hides.